What's up, guys? Thank y'all for tuning in. This will be the first video of a multi-part series documenting my rehab from my ankle surgery. So a quick overview of my procedure. I had a few things done to my ankle. So starting off, I had my ligaments tightened. To be exact, my ATFL. So pretty much what my doctor did was go in, put sutures on the bones of my ankles and sort of reinforce it with what they called an internal brace. I think it's just a synthetic sort of material that they lay on top of the actual ligament itself to kind of reinforce it and act as a seatbelt to protect it from further sprains or injuries in the future. Secondly, I had some arthroscopic debridement done on my ankle as well, which consisted of one, cleaning up all the scar tissue that was developed from just all of the previous injuries, as well as shaving down some of the bone spurs. Third, I had some minor cartilage damage on my ankle just because I had put off the surgery for so long and I've been running and just doing various activities on it. So what they did was pretty much identified the area of cartilage that was damaged. They kind of scooped out the bad material and then they reinforced that with some biomatrix material. They called it Cardimax, but basically they filled the defect of the cartilage with this material, and over time your body and this material kind of work together to repair and grow your own cartilage in that area, which was the where the previous defect was. And then lastly, this isn't really specific to my ankle injury, but my doctor recommended that I had some stem cells in the area of the surgery done. So what they did was pretty much, I guess, take this big needle, stick it in the side of my hip, and they extracted bone marrow. And during surgery, they put it in this machine to spin it up. But essentially what it did was it separated the bone marrow and took the stem cells out of the bone marrow from my hip, and he injected it at the site of the surgery around my ankle to promote healing, especially in the cartilage area. And that was, I guess, just for, again, to promote faster healing, but also ensure just better long-term results after the surgery. So I'll be documenting my rehab process from start until I make a full recovery and return back to high impact sports. But I think most importantly, I want to be able to give you guys kind of the resources, the tools, and the things that will help me along the process for those of you who are going through a similar surgery or may have an ankle injury and are thinking about surgery as a potential solution. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. Just about 24 hours, a little after 24 hours since surgery, and my nerve block is definitely wearing off. I'd say pain level is probably around an 8-ish, not completely unbearable. I know people have different experiences with their pain levels after ankle surgery. I haven't taken any painkillers. I was prescribed oxycodone, 5 milligrams, as well as some ibuprofen, Tylenol. Definitely I felt better, but overall surgery went good, and yeah. The pain definitely comes in and goes away. Like, it's consistently still there, but anytime there's a slight movement or, I'm moving my leg in any sort of way, it definitely spikes. So I'm going to try not to take any pain meds and see how long I can go. But if I can't end up falling asleep tonight, I'll probably have to take a few, so. been officially 1 week since my ankle surgery. I would say pretty much all of my ankle injuries were involving kind of like that external rotation where your ankle twists outwards. I've had probably 10 plus ankle sprains throughout my time playing basketball. And out of those, I would say probably 4 or 5 of them were legit grade 3 sprains, where I probably had a very loose or even a torn ligament, as well as some bone bruising. And I know my ankle at this point, where if something is kind of sore due to a ligament damage that just requires rest, or if the muscles surrounding my feet and my calves are just weak and I need more PT, I know what that feels like versus a deeper, sharper pain down to kind of like your bones and within your cartilage. Now, this may be kind of the most important part leading up to surgery, was finding the right doctor and feeling comfortable about my decision moving forward. This process for me took upwards of 1.5 years, I'd say 2 years. I went through 4 or 5 different doctors, which surprisingly, their diagnosis was kind of like scattered throughout, and nothing was really consistent until I would say the last 2 doctors that I saw. Some of them were advising that I do PT, although I let them know that I've done plenty of PT in the past with no avail. Some were recommending that I take cortisone shots, and I've done my research on taking cortisone shots to mask the pain, and for me at least, it didn't seem like it was addressing the root cause of what was creating the injury in the first place, and it was just masking the pain. And I'm not a medical professional for sure, and don't take my advice on this, but I did see some studies and articles out that cortisone actually shows to erode down the cartilage if you take it too much. So it's something that as an athlete you want to avoid, because I think a lot of people start to get reliant on it because it masks the pain and you're able to return to sport in the short term. My focus was, can I do the things that I want to do in high activity when I'm 50 years old? And the cortisone shot wasn't the right route for me. Now, if this is your first major ankle injury and you're just unfamiliar with the extent of what you might have done to your ankle, or you're simply just not comfortable or informed enough about what your doctor is telling you in the first place, definitely seek different opinions and what the feedback is from the other doctors that you see. I think the biggest thing is you definitely don't want to make a decision, especially if it's a surgical intervention that can potentially impact you for the rest of your life, especially if you're trying to get back in the sport.
The knee rover is probably my favorite item out of the list, although it's going to take a few days of using crutches after surgery before you can transition onto this. But honestly, this has made my life so much easier getting around. I use this to get around only if necessary, since the first 2 weeks post-op should be spent mostly elevating your foot. For me, the knee rover didn't agitate my ankle or cause any pain, so I felt good enough to use it. This leg raiser pillow is probably the most important, however, since you'll need to elevate your foot around 90 to 95% of the day for the first 2 weeks post-surgery. My recommendation is to get the wider pillow so you can prop both feet up. Otherwise, it's going to cause an imbalance in your hip or your spine, and it's going to cause some serious back pain since you'll be laying down most of the time. Once you feel like you're ready to take a shower, you definitely want to have something to sit on. Balancing on one leg trying to wash yourself is honestly the biggest pain in the ass, and you constantly feel like you're on the verge of slipping or falling. In addition to the shower stool, I bought this waterproof leg cover from Amazon, as you'll want to keep your hard cast dry for the first 2 weeks. This one worked pretty well for me, but it's going to be important that you buy the right size. Otherwise, there's bound to be leaks and water going down your leg. And lastly, this handheld loofahs help me get all the hard to reach spots when showering. I usually have my foot propped up on the edge of the tub when I shower, so therefore I don't have much range of motion. So this thing did the trick for me.